So here's a question I get asked all the time. I'm foreign, can I buy in Maui or in the United States or in Hawaii? Absolutely, the answer is yes, you can. Then the next question is, what are the restrictions? And the really cool part is, there aren't any. So as a foreign resident, you can buy in the United States, in Hawaii, on the island of Maui, and there's nothing additional that you need to do to be a buyer. Now, there are some things that you'll have to provide, just like the American citizens will, proof of residency for wherever you're from, like a passport, and then your mailing address, which would be a driver's license, should typically suffice. But other than that, there are no restrictions for being a foreign buyer in the United States, and most particularly in Hawaii. Now, some of the questions that I get asked once we're starting the process with foreign buyers is, how many buyers come into our market from other places? And it's amazing. We have about $59 billion worth of investments are made in the United States from outside countries. And the top countries we see investors from are China, Canada, India, Mexico, and Brazil. Now, here in Maui, our number one inbound foreign buyers come from Canada. It's because it's the closest place to the Western Canada region that has warm sand. So we understand why they come here, and it is the most beautiful place. So a lot of other states that foreign buyers are buying in, Texas, Florida, California are three of the top most desirable places. But again, Maui really is the best. Of those buyers, 44% of them paid cash. That means about 56% finance. So that's the next question. Can I finance? And the answer is absolutely you can. It is a bit more challenging to finance, and very often a lot of my Canadian clients, because that's mostly what I deal with, will go and get a home equity line on their primary residence in Canada, in this case, and then they'll bring in money, and that would be a cash buyer in that scenario. Now, for Canadians, RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, does offer some U.S. programs where they will be able to qualify you, get you a loan, and give you a loan in the United States. So if you want more information about that, reach out to your RBC or let me know and we can connect you with the right people for that. How do I provide the earnest money if I go under contract? Well, if you haven't left yet, you can bring a check with you, that as long as that check can be drawn in U.S. funds, or you can wire the money to escrow. Now, that's what we do most of the times. Our contracts, it's very common for us to just put wire within 3 business days. If you need more time or a different scenario, just be sure to check with your realtor, who hopefully will be me, and let them know how much time you'll need to coordinate that. Also, some Canadian clients will have U.S. bank accounts, so that's another alternative path to make that happen. Another question, once I buy a property, how long can I stay in it? Great question. So that's going to be based on your status, but typically it would be no more than 6 months. 6 months is the maximum before you start to have to deal with immigration, paying taxes, and certain things like that. I also know for our Canadian clients, they have some healthcare issues, so you've got to check with your Minister of Healthcare, the consulate there, to find out what their guidelines are. But for the United States, it's typically 6 months that you can come in on a visa before you have to leave. And it's through the course of the year. I know that some of my clients will come and go, and they try to keep it under 6 months or 172 days. So keep that in mind, but you can use it quite a long while. Another question, can I get a visa or a green card if I buy property in the United States? The answer to that is no. I know there are some countries where you can buy property and get a green card or get a visa. That does not happen in the United States, nor can you get citizenship when you buy real estate. However, there's no other restrictions, and you can come and go for that 6-month period freely. So good to know, and a great question. Another question I get asked is, do foreigners get penalized in property taxes when they own here? No, you get billed the same amount of property tax as anybody else that owns here. The only people that get a benefit would be if you live here full time and it's your primary residence, and you can prove that with filing tax returns. You have to file information with the state of Hawaii. You'll get a discount in your property taxes. But if you're from the United States and you're not here full time, you will pay the same taxes as anybody from any foreign country. Another thing people ask regarding taxes is, well, I heard that I get taxed more as a foreign seller and they tax me when I sell. Not true. So there is a transfer tax, which is a small amount. There's also a withholding fee that is held by the United States government and the state of Hawaii. One is called FIRPTA, that's the federal, and HARPTA, which is the Hawaii withholding tax. And it's not a tax, it's a withholding. They withhold that money at closing to make sure that you pay your fair share of the capital gains tax on the sale. Just like every United States citizen is responsible for, they pay withholding or they pay capital gains tax on their profits, on their sales in both their state that they live in if they're taxable, as well as in the federal tax system. Now, most states and countries have tax treaties with the United States, so if you pay it in Hawaii, you won't need to pay it in your state, or you won't need to pay it in your country. Just check with your accountant to make sure about that so that you're not doubly taxed. But the great news is that withholding will just be applied to whatever tax you owe when you file your tax return. It is about 7.5% and 15, or 7.25% and 15% for the Hawaii and the federal government, respectively. Next question I get a lot is, can I avoid paying the taxes? Well, interestingly enough, yes, you can. If it was an investment property, not a primary residence, one that you rented out, yes, you can, in fact, avoid paying taxes by utilizing the U.S. government's tax rule for 1031 tax-deferred exchange. The way you would avoid it would be to, when you sell your investment property, you would repurchase a new investment property anywhere in the United States or a United States territory. And as long as you spend as much or more money than your property was sold for, you can avoid paying taxes for the moment, and you can defer them. Now, eventually, when you sell the property and remove all your money from the market, you will be responsible for taxes, but it's a great way for you to leverage and move your money into a different property and build your equity into another location by utilizing that 20 to 30% of taxes that you would defer. One more question. Can I buy investment or rental properties in Maui? Absolutely you can. You can buy any kind of property you want. There's no restrictions. You can buy it, you can rent it out, you can do Airbnb, you can do long-term rentals. Whatever you choose, you can do with your property that you own in Maui, as long as it's zoned appropriately. And I can help you with that. Certain properties allow vacation rentals, certain don't. And there's another video that we can put in the link for that. And you want to make sure that it falls within the guidelines within the complex or of the community that you're wanting to rent. So definitely you can. There's no restrictions and no problems with doing that. I hope this answers a lot of your questions. We'll be posting another video more in detail about the taxes. We'll also put the link in there for you. And if you have any questions, I'm Tom Tezak with Hawaii Life. I'd love to be your resource and guide here on Maui. I do love working with foreign buyers and the journey that we go on with them. It makes me very happy to help somebody get into the Maui market. So you can reach me at my contacts. You'll see the links below. Look forward to hearing from you.